All right, let's talk about a secret. A secret to building wealth that, frankly, Wall Street has a huge reason to keep under wraps. And the thing is, it's not some complicated, risky scheme. It's something anyone can do. It's so powerful, in fact, that one of the greatest investors ever used it to publicly, embarrass some of the most expensive experts on the planet. So, let's get into it. This quote from Warren Buffett, it just hits the nail on the head, right? It gets to the core conflict of all investing. Is your money working for you, or is it just making your fund manager rich? Buffett felt so strongly about this that he decided, you know what, I'm gonna prove it. And he did it with a very public $1 million bet. So back in 2007, Buffett basically threw down the gauntlet. He challenged the entire hedge fund industry. His claim was simple, but it was radical. A basic, cheap index fund could beat the world's smartest, most sophisticated investors over a 10-year stretch. And you know what? One guy, a manager named Ted Seeds, actually took him up on it. And just like that, the stage was set for this epic showdown, simple versus complex. And look, the difference between these two sides it's just wild. On one side, you've got Buffett's pick, a simple S&P 500 index fund. All it does is automatically buy a tiny piece of the 500 biggest US companies. And the fee? It's basically nothing. We're talking 0.04%. Then on the other side, you have the experts, 5 elite hedge funds. We're talking brilliant managers, secret algorithms, and of course, massive fees. Think about 2% of your money gone every single year, plus they take a 20% cut of any profits you make. The contrast is just wow. So, 10 years go by, and the results? They weren't just clear, they were an absolute blowout. The 5 elite hedge funds, they managed to return, on average, just 22%. Now, that's over the entire decade. So what about Buffett's boring, cheap index fund? Well, that returned 85.4%. It's not even close. The experts, with all their smarts and all their high fees, got completely, utterly crushed by a simple, automated fund that you or I could buy in about 5 minutes. Now, Buffett's bet is an incredible story, right? But it's so important to know this isn't just some one-off fluke. It's actually the perfect example of a much bigger truth about investing, a truth that's backed up by mountains of data. So now, let's pull back the curtain and look at the hard numbers that Wall Street really doesn't want you to see. But wait a minute, right? This is the big question. Aren't these expert managers supposed to be, experts? Aren't you paying them to outperform the market and protect you when things get rough? It sounds totally logical. That's the whole sales pitch. But what does the data actually tell us? Well, to get the real answer, we have to look at the official scorecard. It's called the SPIVA report. And this isn't somebody's opinion, okay? This is a massive, ongoing study from S&P Global. They track thousands and thousands of funds over decades. It is without a doubt the final word on whether these active managers actually deliver on their promises. And the results, they're pretty jaw-dropping. Okay, look at this. Over a 15-year stretch, a whopping 88% of professional fund managers, the ones managing money in large US companies, failed to beat a simple S&P 500 index fund. Just let that sink in for a second. Almost 9 out of 10 pros, with all their research teams and all their fancy degrees, couldn't keep up with a basic automated fund. And believe it or not, the longer the time frame, the worse these numbers get. So the takeaway here is crystal clear. That promise of beating the market, for most of us, it's just a statistical fantasy. When you pick an active fund, you're basically betting on that tiny 12% slice of the pie. And even if you get lucky and pick a winner one year, there's no guarantee they'll keep winning. So the big question is, why does this happen? Well, the answer comes down to the one thing in investing that is 100% predictable. You see, the real killer here, the reason for all this underperformance, it's not always about making bad stock picks. It's something much simpler and honestly way more destructive over time. We're talking about fees. This is the hidden anchor that is relentlessly dragging down your returns year in and year out. And when you first look at the numbers, you might think, what's the big deal? A typical active fund might charge, say, 1%. An index fund could be something tiny, like 0.04%. The difference is less than a penny on every dollar. It feels like nothing, right? Insignificant. But when you stretch that out over an entire lifetime of investing, that tiny little difference becomes, astronomical. Okay, this is where it gets really crazy. Just imagine 2 people. They both invest $500 a month for 30 years. Let's say their investments get the exact same return from the market. The only difference is the fee. The person in the low-cost index fund, they end up with over $1.1 million. Not bad. The person in the high-cost active fund, they end up with around $912,000. That tiny, insignificant fee difference costs them $235,000. And it's so important to be clear about what this is. This is not money you lost because of a bad market. No, this is a fee. This is money that was literally taken out of your account systematically and transferred directly into the pockets of a Wall Street firm. And for what? For the privilege of having them try and, as we've seen, probably fail to beat the market for you. Okay, so we've definitely seen the problem here. But the good news, the really great news, is that the solution is unbelievably simple. It's elegant. You absolutely do not need to be a financial genius or a Wall Street insider to use what is arguably the most effective investment strategy ever designed. And here it is. This is the beautiful kind of counterintuitive secret. The winning move isn't to be clever. It's not about trying to pick the next hot stock or trying to time the market. The best strategy is actually to do less. It's about owning a piece of everything, keeping your costs ridiculously low, and then just letting the magic of compounding do all the heavy lifting for you over time. So what's the blueprint? It's often called the 3-fund portfolio. And honestly, for most people, this is all you'll ever need. With just 3 simple funds, you can own a piece of thousands of companies all across the globe. One for the US stock market, one for the international stock market, and a third one, a bond fund, that just adds a bit of stability and helps smooth out the bumps in the road. And the cost for owning basically the entire world's economy, usually it's less than 0.1%. It's amazing. And look, if you need one final piece of proof, this is it. These are Warren Buffett's own instructions for how the money he leaves behind for his family should be invested. Think about that. Not in complicated hedge funds, not with a team of high-paid managers, just a super low-cost S&P 500 index fund and some simple government bonds. I mean, if that's the strategy good enough for the family of the greatest investor alive, it's probably the right one for us too. So this all brings us to the one final question you have to ask yourself. Go look at your own investments. Seriously, find out what fees you're paying. And then ask, is my portfolio designed to make me wealthy, or is it designed to make Wall Street wealthy? Are you keeping the market's returns for yourself, or is your hard-earned money just getting siphoned off to pay for a service that, as the data clearly shows, is almost guaranteed to fail? The secret's out. Now you know.